Subscribe Squad, it's another day, it's another dollar, and it's time for another freaking interview. And this time today, we got somebody very special. You know, he's from the group EMBLEM3. He goes by the name Drew. Drew, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people?
We are in a pandemic, so this is why we're doing this via Zoom, but it's still cool because I feel like it's almost a little bit more intimate because now we're in our own intimate spaces and we get to have these conversations. And so what I always start off by asking people is, you know, when did you fall in love with music?
I remember I was 12 years old and I was at my friend's house. I'm pretty sure his dad was actually a meth dealer. And I woke up at like 3 a.m. Of course, meth heads don't sleep. And I went to go pee. And there was this dude. Yeah, he was downstairs playing guitar. He had all these candles lit. And he was like, had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. And he was playing Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin on guitar. And he just looked like so free, I guess. He just looked free. He looked like he had transcended the world. And I'll never forget that. He might have been on meth, but for some reason I thought that like that was the coolest thing ever. And then I just, after that, got obsessed with it and pretty much been doing it ever since. So.
Okay, so we're gonna thank meth for the
yeah.
reason why we have you.
Moral of the story: if you want to like music.
I'm weak. Okay, so you said you had that love for music, but at what point did you be like, okay, this is something that I want to do. This is something I want to pursue as a career. When did that take?
I mean, I always wanted to. I thought that I had this. I went through like a dark phase, I guess, when I was a teenager, and I went to like rehab because I'm not even really like an addict, but I just liked to party and I liked to rebel and I liked to do things I shouldn't have done. I got wrapped up in the criminal system and I ended up doing something really stupid and I had to go to rehab for it. And I was from like almost like a country town, and all of a sudden I was in Seattle and there was like all these, I guess, it was just an urban scene. And I remember I had a rap. It was the first rap that I'd ever written. And I shared it and in front of all of these kids, and they were all like, dude, what the fuck? That was amazing. Like, you need to do something. And then like some counselors came up to me and they were like, yo, here's my number. I know some people. And so that was a big sign. And then I basically, I started skipping school and stuff around senior year. I had a criminal record, a couple felonies. So I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I wasn't going to graduate. And so I applied for the Coast Guard and I got declined and I couldn't even join the military. And so I had no other option. And then luckily my best friend, Wes, he's like, yo, we just had this situation happen. I was always the writer for our band in middle school. And he's like, we need you to write. We want you to move to California. So I packed up my Ford Explorer, drove to California. I've been here ever since. That was 10 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy. So I guess you could say music kind of saved your life. It gave you a sense of purpose.
Yeah, definitely. That's the case.
So interesting. Okay, so let's fast forward. How did this group come about? For those that don't know, and how did you get into it?
So me and Wes and Keaton, we'd been a band since I was like 14. They were like the other kids my age in town that played music. They just had all the equipment and shit. So I was quick to jump on that. They had a space that had a drum set and guitars and all that. And me and Wes had the same taste in music and same taste in movies and girls and all that stuff. So we basically became best friends like that. Like first night we met, we were like, oh my God, we are destined to make music together forever. And I mean, obviously there has been years where the band will be rocking, we'll be doing really well, and then we won't talk for 4 years or something like that. Something bad will happen, we'll hate each other, and then we'll realize, nah, like it was better when we were together and everything was easier, and then we'll start it up again, we'll usually get successful again, and we'll hate each other. It's kind of this reoccurring cycle. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the history of the band, and now we're back on an upswing. Obviously, we wish we could be touring right now, but you know, we are where we're at as a planet. So
Mhm. That's yeah, I think a lot of us are, but I mean, you just have to adapt. You just have to adjust. It's interesting though. I find that to be somewhat relatable because when I tour with my family. My mom's
nice.
my manager, my brother's my DJ, and my dad is the driver bodyguard, so to speak. So I understand that love-hate relationship of like I literally just don't want to be around you. Like
Yeah.
and so, do you feel like you guys are more family than friends and business partners, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, now we're old enough where there's less bullshit, there's less jealousy. It's like, all right, you know, we want to save money, we want to be able to make music and live this type of lifestyle, and none of us want to. None of us want to do anything else. So we've kind of learned to find compromises, and actually, everything's gotten a lot easier as far as just collaborating and yeah, that type of stuff. So yeah,
That's good.
we're basically family. Those guys are like they're I know them I'm just as close with them as I am with my actual family, if not more close. So, you know, at this point we're literally brothers.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so I want to talk about, the business side of things, things that people don't usually see. Have you guys ever been signed to a label? If so, what is your experience? Or have you guys been indie from jump?
We were signed to Sony and Columbia Records. That experience was crazy. It was like, how do I put it? We had to sacrifice creative control and vision for I guess a huge platform and money, and it wasn't super gratifying for me because those types of things aren't gratifying to me personally. But then on the other end of the spectrum, it built us a huge platform. We got to tour the world. We played arena shows. You know, we toured with Selena Gomez and won Teen Choice Award, and I don't know. So it was a crazy ride, but at the same time, it wasn't like the most fulfilling experience. Now we are independent, but we're actually about to start shopping deals. We're also in a place where we can leverage better deals now, and we know about finances. We know about how the industry works. We have a lot of the right people in the right places, so we don't even really need to sign with a label. But if the deal was right, we would do it.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, what I was talking to another producer about, and he had aspirations, right, to like produce bands. And what he was saying is just like based off of the industry right now, it's hard to have bands just based off of finances because you not only do you have to like, make sure that the artists are happy, and in your case, it's three people. But in some bands, it's like five, six individuals who are like major
Yeah,
parts of
it's
the band.
not easy. It's
And then
not easy.
also you split paychecks when some labels would just prefer it to be the artist and the producer, the artist, songwriter, producer, whatever, and they find that to be easier. So have you guys like have ever had disagreements about finances when it came to being a group as far as like, and this could have been early on, like, or
Talking about music or talking about money with your band is never like easy topic. It's never a comfortable topic. Like in general, it's like, all right, so I put down this much, so I should act. This was an expense for me because I paid for the mix or whatever. So take this off the top. Oh well, I paid. So you have to learn to be transparent and be an adult about it. Keep track of your expenses, and then really build a corporate account that you can all monitor and be on the same page and be completely transparent. It also helps to have, you know, a manager and a business manager to help facilitate those types of conversations because things can go sour really quick when it comes to talking about money.
I agree. And I think that because you guys had so many experiences and you've been in the industry such a long time, I can imagine that that's a lot easier to navigate now than it was when it first started off.
There's sensitive, yeah, there's sensitive topics. Money's always a sensitive topic, and I think that goes for any business. But you know, if it's all completely transparent and understood, then it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, and it helps having a financial advisor.
Okay, cool. So you talked about, early on you had some struggles with rehab and partying. How do you feel like that's affected you now and with the stage you are in life and in music now that
I
you're
mean, the
older?
reason that I even did any of that stuff as a kid was like I always knew that somehow that it would end up expanding my character and dynamic and giving me a sense of self, and I feel like that was justified. I learned a lot from that world, and I wanted to dance in the darkness just as much as the light, and kind of find the route in between those two worlds. And I feel like that was the best way to be more integrated, wholesome, dynamic, creative.
Okay. So, all right, let's get into some fun questions. All right, we talked about your love of rap a little bit. I need to hear your top 5 rappers today. And then if you want, you can mix and match with some legends.
All right. So I don't even listen to modern hip hop, to be honest. It like flex culture. I just like it doesn't resonate with me. I feel like it's almost like weaponizing the human spirit into like being egocentric and obsessing over material possessions and objectifying women, things like that. I don't. That's my least favorite kind of music, actually. Occasionally, I'll find a song that I resonate with, but a lot of modern hip hop, they kind of just freak me out, give me a weird vibe. I definitely am an oldster with my hip hop preferences, and Pac is literally like a messiah to me. He's the embodiment of divine consciousness in like a warrior form, and so I've always looked to him as an icon and a symbol of hope for people. And I'm trying to think. There's got to be someone. I mean, if I had to choose someone nowadays, probably be like J. Cole or someone like that. Someone that's not afraid to go against the grain of pop cultures. It's sad to me to see what some people talk about, or I don't know. It's just the evolution of music, but I can see how it's influenced an entire generation of people that are younger than me, and they just think differently, and it's more surface level, I guess. So yeah, I guess I'm turning into an oldster. I mean, I'm 27 now, so I'm like, these damn kids talking about no, like nothing. Why would I want to listen to a song about a guy talking about like fucking my bitch or what? Like, dude, I don't want to hear anyone say that. I don't want to visualize anything like that. But some people, they don't think as deep and they don't look into it like that, and that's fine. They just to them they're like, oh no, dude, don't think so deep about it. It's just a vibe. For me, I'm a lyricist. It's kind of one of my main uh, centers of identity with my own character, and so I care about those things. I care about the vibrations that you're putting out with your words, and I think that they actually affect the world. Everything that you say and do, and affects the collective consciousness.
I agree. I agree. And I'm not afraid because I'll be honest, I'm one of them old heads, so to speak, and I mostly listen to classic hip hop and stuff too. So I'll be on the same page with you. And we're having this deeper thought because I feel like it's a perfect segue, right?
Yeah,
I wanted to know.
Joyner Lucas is pretty masterful with his lyrics.
He's pretty masterful. He's definitely
And I'm
pretty
sure there's
masterful.
others. There's a lot of great lyrical rappers out there. And then for ones that aren't as lyrical, I know that I can think of a few. It just right now, I mean, was it Young Thug? He seems pretty creative. I know there's a few, but I'm not super interested in them. To be honest, I haven't even. People ask me what I listen to all the time. I listen to like reggae, like 90s rock, and then ambient lo-fi hip hop beats. The rest of the time I'm either like researching shit or working on my own stuff. So
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So I want to know what's next for you, what's next for the group. What should we expect for the rest of the year?
I mean, I wish I had the answer for that. I really don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I'm all over the place. I feel like everyone's all over the place. I feel like people don't even really know what to believe anymore. And there's, so much going on culturally. And if I had it my way, I wish we could be touring right now. But obviously, we're not able to do that. So just kind of have to bide our time and pray and hope for the best. And hey, what's up? Oh, no, wait, what? That's for me?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, nice. I don't even know what that is. I got a huge box in the mail.
Oh,
I
huge
have
box.
no idea what that is.
What
What the fuck? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I just want to fast forward. I just want to fast forward through this year, and I want everyone to just love and accept each other. And you know, there's so much going on, and I get so wrapped up in politics because I'm naturally diplomatic. Like, it's kind of my thing as a Libra or whatever. So I get obsessed with studying things, and um, it's just crazy. The band, obviously, that's my dream, and I want nothing more than to keep living that dream and developing it. And I finally feel like we've gotten to a place that's like we could do this forever and keep developing and building, and it's the strongest we've ever been as a group. But now, as soon as we got that, everything fell apart. And it was just like, all of a sudden that became obsolete. And now I'm like, dude, like, I don't even know what's happening to my country. I don't even know. I mean, I can't tell if we've been infiltrated by like Chinese Communist Party or George Soros funded Zionist agenda to destroy our country, dismantle our military, and put it in the hands of the UN. I mean, and I see how we're being culturally manipulated and turning against each other, and it's just heartbreaking. And it's honestly, it's hard for me to sleep. It hasn't been an easy time for me emotionally because of everything going on. I don't think it has been for anyone. And like, I literally want to like cry sometimes because it's just like, I feel like we just got it all together. We got a good advance from a distribution deal, and we have all these opportunities on the table. And then it was like, oh, none of that matters because like, I don't even know if America is ever going to be the same again. And now, you know, obviously from the pandemic, I don't even know if it's legit or not. I don't know if we'll be able to tour at all. I was at a party a couple nights ago, and like, yeah, we'll be touring next year. I was like, dude, you don't know that. Like, we don't
Right?
actually know. They could just keep saying and spinning it in the media. No, it's getting worse and worse. And people just believe it. And then you have people that are like, you know, giving counter advice, and they just get chalked up as conspiracy theorists now. So it's like, dude, you don't know. They might keep locking stuff down until everyone's vaccinated. You don't know what's in the vaccines. The people that are putting the vaccines together are the warp speed thing. It's sketchy. No one knows what they're gonna do. It's terrifying. And I'm scared, but I'm trying. All I can say is the only truth that I really know anymore in this age of mass disinformation and confusion is like your energy and your heart and your spirit, and keeping that elevated above the world. Because if it does all go down, at least your spirit's transcendent of this world. And I don't know. I guess this year and everything that's happened has really forced me to look at like the world will always change, and honestly, death is inevitable. I think there's a Bible verse that talks about how even the flowers fade, you know, even the most beautiful times and change. And that being said, it's the only thing that really matters is your connection with divinity. And so I guess that's kind of become the priority for me. But emotionally, it's difficult. I live alone, so I don't have anyone here, and pretty lonely. But I just trying to keep my head on straight and keep my spirit risen.
Well, hang in there. Like I really feel you on the unsureness of what's going on in the world is like it could be
Yeah, yeah,
highly overwhelming. But one thing that helps me is really just meditating, and like you said, like keeping your frequency at a high level is just like of maximum importance.
yeah,
So, and I truly believe that when you put positivity in the world, you know what I'm saying, that's what comes back at you. When your intentions are good,
yeah.
that's what comes back at you. So I think as long as you stay focused on what is your intentions, what are you putting into the world, and from what I
Exactly.
from what I get from you, it's you have like really positive and peaceful vibes. So I'm sure that all this unsureness is going to figure itself out. And that's why I'm trying not to stress out about it so much, because I know that to a certain extent it's not in my hands. So therefore, when things are out of your control,
Yeah.
you gotta focus on what it is that you can control. And part of what you can
Yeah.
control is, you know, doing things that make you happy every day. And so if you're in the
Yeah.
position to do that, that in itself is a blessing, because there's some people who don't have that option. And I feel you on the whole loneliness, but at the same time, there's always somebody who's there, you know, who cares about you, and you need somebody to talk to. Hit your girl up. We got the combos going on over here.
Yeah, yeah. The other night, I like kind of just like went on a bender, I guess. I don't know, just went really hard with some things I shouldn't have done. And morning time came around, and there's always time to come back down. You know what I'm saying? And I had like activated so much shame in myself, and I realized that like our vibration actually affects the collective vibration, and everything that I want to change in the world, I have to change in myself first. And in that fallen state, the world was being brought down even more. So I guess ultimately I realized that where my frequency stands affects everything else. And if I want to see a positive manifestation out of all of this chaos, then like I have to keep, like I said before, my spirit in a higher place. And so that's been my primary goal right now, is focus on that. At least till all this blows over, and then I can then I can go hard again. No.
Well, I'm glad we got a chance to hang out, man. I really do appreciate you joining me. Before we go, make sure you shout out your socials so everybody can follow you.
Oh yeah. My socials are just Drew Chadwick. I think my Twitter's True Chadwick, even though I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned for sharing too much controversial shit on my Twitter.
Oh Lord. Well, we had us a very dope and productive conversation. I will say that much. So there you have it there. It's your girl ScribeCash here. It was another dope interview with Drew Chadwick. I gotta say it right, Chadwick.
There you go.
Let me know who else I should interview on the channel. Make sure you hit the like button, sub button, bell button. I love you guys. I will see you guys next time.